Hey, so I think some of you. So I recently beat Satisfactory. A really, really fun game. Had a great time doing it. I thought I'd give a quick tour of my final ending base in case anyone wanted to see it. This will include quite a lot of spoilers, so if you want to play the game fresh and you don't want to see things in the game, then don't watch this video. But if you want to see Satisfactory in all its glory, well, stick around. So this is the place there I started the game in. It's a giant mess of nasty conveyor belts because of it. Because this is all basically all the first things I did. I eventually expanded this base to include a whole bunch of dimensional depots, which are really fun. Basically, all these things do is load resources into my inventory directly, so I can use it anywhere globally on the map, which is fun. So, for example, here is a bunch of concrete. I've got multiple concrete depots being sent and created using uploaded using dimensional depots into storage, which were a pain to build, by the way. Everything in this game I built by hand. This is all it took a while. But anyway, since I did that and took time to gather and automate all the processes that feed all these dimensional depots, it functionally turns the game into creative mode. And then I can make a blueprint such as this one. I can drop down 175 concrete, and by the time I go to build another one, I already have that concrete refilled. So it's functionally, not literally, but functionally it turns into creative mode. Eventually I will run out of concrete, but you can see that takes a long time. So I go back to my inventory here, check my dimensional depot, concrete. It's already full. Anyway, so we can get rid of this. I'll just leave that there. So this is we just have a nice little stack of concrete there now. So let me just fly up a little bit here and give you a quick tour. This is the madness that is Satisfactory. These are all these blueprint designers, which I use to build blueprints, which helps me reproduce things quickly in other places. They're a pain to build, but very, very helpful. This is the glorious omnibus, my own personal invention, which lets me transport anything I want all around the map. I use it for all kinds of things. Basically, it turns all my conveyor belts to a single giant conveyor belt, which is plenty for all the work I need to do in the entire game, because I can take... I use it typically for just highly manufactured goods. I don't typically use it for things like screws or copper wire, things you get a billion of. But if I use it for highly manufactured goods, I can essentially put things onto this belt system anywhere I want at any point, and then route it off at any point. So if I want, for example, heavy modular frames, well, I can just pull them off here, and away they go. So this system allows me to essentially put on and take off whatever I want at any point, and makes it very easily to streamline manufacturing processes. And as you can see, this belt system extends for quite some ways. Oh, and all of these are my batteries. All these things do is just store power. In this game, you have to manage your power, so you need places to store your power. So all of these little like orange cube-looking things, they're full of. If I open this up, they're full of batteries. They're just absolutely chock full of just giant, massive batteries on multiple floors. So that's what's happening there. I'm going to color these back in orange because that's the color they were. And by doing that, I have quite a lot of power going on. So right here, my base is currently consuming 82,000 megawatts. And as you can see, it spikes up and down as various production lines turn on and turn off. And I'm producing 155,000 megawatts. And I've got 124,000 megawatt hours stored in storage. So basically, if I entirely lost my power production completely, my batteries could keep things going for roughly an hour of in-game time. And if I lost power for a small blip, then it would keep it going for a little while. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but it just helps provide some redundancy in case my power was to suddenly go down. Now, if you're wondering how I have 165,000 megawatts of power, well, I may have overdone it a little bit. I had quite a few power places that provided power in the beginning. I started with biomass, and then I moved to coal. I'll show you my first coal power plant automation design. Here we go. Let's just take a moment to get over there. Let's go check it out. I'm going to switch to my jetpack here. That'll be a little easier for getting around. Whoop. This is a hypertube cannon, which will allow me to shoot myself across the map like a human bullet. Whee! So as you can see, it's quite a big little base area madness thing. And here are my first coal plants that I ever built. There. So there's a whole bunch of coal plants. Each of these coal plants is consuming coal and water and producing, in this case, 75 megawatts each. So 75 megawatts per coal plant is not a lot at the end of the game, but at the beginning of the game, it's a ton, and it's better than nothing. But obviously that's not going to provide 150,000 megawatts of power, which is what I need right now, or what I'm producing right now. So if you want to see where that power is coming from, it's mostly coming from what I lovingly refer to as Nuclear Mountain, which is this whole giant thing up here. All of this is largely the power production I have in this game. And I have, of course, a bunch of other stuff going on down here. I've got some fuel plants and others, but most of my power comes from this giant monstrosity that is Nuclear Mountain. I essentially turned an entire mountain range into just a giant radioactive mess, and I have lots of radioactive protection on my person, which is good because if I didn't, I would die pretty quickly. So this is tasty uranium, highly radioactive. I'm mining it over there. From there, it goes into these things, combined with a lot of other stuff. As you can see, there's lots of combining of things in this game. In this case, I'm combining uranium, 45, so specifically 75 per minute uranium, 45 per minute silica, 75 per minute sulfur, and 22.5 per minute quickwire. As you can see, the signs don't match the items coming in. It doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. It all works. It's all configured to work no matter what you use. And all of that is producing wonderful uranium fuel, encased uranium cells, which are zipping around these lines right here. Look at them go. Those are being turned into here by combining with electromagnetic rods and some encased steel beams, all of which are precursors. Lots of things go into this. Electromagnetic control rods. If I'm using the regular recipe, need stators and AI limiters, and stators and AI limiters need steel pipes and wires, and steel pipes and wires need all kinds of things. So it's just a giant chain of things to get here. Yeah, but over here, out comes wonderful, highly radioactive uranium fuel cells. Those can then go into these wonderful uranium power plants, each of which that produce, in this case, at this moment, 2,500 megawatts per power plant. If we get on here, those power plants consume those uranium fuel cells and output delicious, tasty, wonderful uranium waste. There it is, in all its beautiful uranium waste glory. So what do you do with a bunch of uranium waste? Well, obviously the right thing to do with a bunch of uranium waste is to make it dance. I have a beautiful dance of radioactive waste going here as it continually moves in cycles through these storage container blueprints. This one contains 100,000 uranium waste, which is actually down quite a bit. At its peak, it was at around 400,000. Slowly but surely, I am cleaning this uranium waste and converting it into non-fissile uranium over here. That non-fissile uranium is then being put over here, routing through these particle accelerators, which are super cool to look at. Let's just go look at one doing its thing. Vroom, 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 vroom. It's fun to watch it. It's taking in aluminum casing and that non-fissile uranium. Ooh, there it goes. And it's outputting, any second here, encased plutonium cells. It's fun to watch it go. That's cool. Zip, zap, zip. Look at those particle accelerators accelerating those particles. Good job. Good job, particle accelerators. So I've got, as you can see, a number of those going, all converting non-fissile uranium into encased plutonium cells, which then goes into here, which then gets turned into plutonium fuel rods by being combined with pressure conversion cubes, which is its own giant production chain to make those things. Those are not easy to make. And all of that goes into here, into another stream of nuclear power plants, many of which I actually didn't even finish hooking back up. Because when I made this, I didn't know how much power I would need. Turns out I've got way more than I need. So I never actually even finished hooking this up, because all of this has the fuel rods to work just fine. But they need water to cool them down. So a few of these have got water going. Quite a few of them do. And I could bring water into these other ones, but I simply don't need to. But if I ever need more power, all I have to do is route some water right here, and I'll have an additional nice couple 100,000, not 100,000, but tens of thousands more power. And all these make more uranium waste. So actually, excuse me, this is a plutonium waste, which is a different kind of waste. And I could go through a whole cleansing process to clean this up. But as you can see, I'm only producing a little bit per minute, not very much. I've only got 7,000 created. And this storage blueprint can hold roughly 1 million of it. So I'm not really in danger of needing to then process and clean this anytime soon. So I just didn't bother. And I beat the game long before that became a problem. If I was to run this game infinitely, eventually this whole power plant production line would shut down, as you have to process this waste, and you can't store it indefinitely. And if you try to just hold on to it indefinitely, eventually the game would crash, because the game can only hold so many items. But again, that's the kind of thing that would not be an issue for a very long time. So I ignored it, and it was fine. All right, well, I think that's Nuclear Mountain. As you can see in all its glory, it's quite big, and there was a lot of work that went into all of this. This whole game has about 250 hours put into it, ish. And I've got 500 hours into the game overall. Let's go somewhere else. So we got other places to go. Let's just go explore a little bit. See what else we got. Whoop. This is nuclear. We're now leaving Nuclear Mountain. There's our giant production lines. That produces a whole bunch of fun stuff over there. Here's our belts that are routing things all over the world. Where should we go next? We got all kinds of factories scattered around the world. This factory down there produces largely radio control units, which is one of the many inputs into those pressure conversion cells. This factory makes fixonium trigons. Well, actually, the fixite ingots, I believe, not the trigons. That's a different place. Silly of me. And we've got factories over here producing quartz and silica. And just factories all over the world. You see, I've explored this area quite a lot. You can see these little structures around our radar towers. Then we have down here just a little mining station where I've got some iron coming out here. Let's just go taking this next little hop for a nice little ride. And over here, I've just got all kinds of stuff happening. Rubber production, some fuel, plastic, coal. This is where I produce all my batteries. So I've got here 180 batteries per minute being created. And I have a nice little backlog of 440,000 batteries, which then I can send out all over the world to fuel all my drone cells. I invented a way to essentially keep all my drone cells fueled no matter where. I just have a centralized battery creation location, and that these drones then go out to fuel other drones all throughout the world, essentially. And I have it functionalized so that I can, long story short, I can just keep my drones fueled no matter where I am, essentially. And I made a separate video about that if you are interested. I don't expect you to be, but maybe you do. If you watched it this far, I guess you probably would be. Anyway, that's my Satisfactory base at a glance. It would take me a very long time to explain what everything does. But, I beat the game. I built a bunch of stuff. I explored the map. It was a lot of fun. I went a little crazy, and I had a great time. And there's multiple factors I haven't even showed you. I guess we can go down here just to cap off the video, I guess. It's also fun moving at these insane speeds through the game. I'm moving at speeds through the game that you're not technically supposed to be able to do. the hypertube cannon blueprint I showed you wasn't necessarily intended by the game developers, but it does work, which is fun. But because I'm moving so fast, it's, you know, things kind of pop into existence as the assets load because I'm kind of breaking the game a little bit, which is fun. There's some water towers, a whole bunch of fuels. I've got some fuel refineries creating rubber, and it's just a good time down here. All right, well I think that's probably good, but I built a lot of things. I think where I'm going with this. I built a lot of things, and I beat the game, and I spent a lot of time on it, and presumably now somebody is going to give me respect or like a medal or like some sort of cash giant novelty check. I don't know what happens when you beat Satisfactory, but I assume it's a big deal, and there'll probably be some kind of Academy award or like it must have been. I know I did this for some reason. There was a good reason for me to play in this game and putting all this time into it. I'm confident there was. I just don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But I'm confident that someone somewhere is going to greatly benefit from the fact that I put all the time into this game to build all this stuff and to complete the project in the space elevator. So I'm confident someone somewhere is very thankful that I did this. Hopefully that person reaches out to let me know that I did a good job at some point here soon. Yeah, but that's the game. I built the things. Whoop. And I've got twangly machines. Machines that twangle. Here's a quantum encoder. Look at it do it. Look at it do its quantum encoding. That's fun, isn't it? That thing does things too. Don't even worry about that thing. You don't need to know about that thing. That's fun, isn't it? Isn't that fun? Beep boop beep boop beep. Look at all those fun blinking lights. Good job, quantum encoder. You just keep quantum encoding. Alright, that's enough Satisfactory for today. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Take care.